Hey everybody, welcome back to Matthew Kelly Pottery. I hope you are doing well. Today, I guess I should say tonight, you can probably see the window behind me there. It is dark out. There's been several late nights lately throwing pots, getting ready for wood firing number 4. Excited about that. Excited about John the Potter joining us for this wood firing. You probably, if you follow him, you've heard that information already. But if you're hearing it here for the first time, yes, John Schmidt, John the Potter, is coming from Minnesota to North Carolina to wood fire with me. He'll be here for several days. We're going to do some video collabs together, fire the wood kiln together, and unload it, and then he's going to head back to Minnesota. So anyway, but that's not today's project. Today's project is I had a customer reach out to me and say, hey, could you make me a custom mug? Which I've had that question before. And I said, yeah, I could. And he said, yeah, but there's one big stipulation, and by big, I mean it needs to be able to hold at least 90 fluid ounces. That's right, 90 fluid ounces. He said there's no limit on how big it can be, but it has to hold at least 90 ounces. I believe the gentleman owns maybe a microbrewery and a bar, and he wants it for display and maybe occasional use. And there are a couple other potters that have recently made mugs for him that size or bigger. And Stephen Hill is one of those. I've admired Stephen Hill's work for years, and I did see on his Instagram that he had made mugs, and this gentleman told me that the ones that Stephen made held 5 liters, which is about 150 to 160 ounces. So that's pretty cool. And he also commented recently on that huge jug I made, and he said, is my mug going to be that big? And I'm like, hey, it could be. So we're not going to make one quite that big because that'd be a little hard to hold. But I did make one already back here that was out of about 8 pounds of clay, and this one definitely will hold, I believe, finish more than 90 ounces. But I said, you know what, I want to make 2. I want to go ahead and step it up a notch just because I want to. I've got 10 pounds of clay here, and we're going to make one more out of 10 pounds of clay and just see how big it goes and see how I like it. And we'll fire both of them, and if he wants both of them, he can have them, but if he doesn't, then I'll keep one here for display as well. So anyway, that's what we're doing today, and let's go. Alright, as usual, for something this size, I'm going to center this in 2 separate clay balls. So I've got 2 5-pound clay balls here. I'm going to center the first one and then throw the second one on top to center it. You guys have seen me do that several times. If you're new here, this is a technique that I use to help make it a little bit easier to center larger amounts of clay. I hardly ever center more than 5 or 6 pounds at one time. Not that I can't, it's just a little bit easier on the body, I think, to do it this way. So I will center this 5 pounds, and then I'll round the top off and then add the second 5 pounds on top of this. As you can see here, I will round that off, and then I'll actually use a rib as well to make sure it's nice and smooth. And go ahead and dry that off as well. And then what I do is take the second clay ball and I kind of usually round it on my table, or in this case my board, just to make it also in a point. Throw that on top, and then since the bottom is already centered and I didn't really knock it out of center by throwing that one on there, I can throw that second one on there and then really fairly easily center up that second piece on top of the first one. Yeah, I thought I would get a bit more of a piece out of that first 8 pounds that I threw, but how wide the bottom is ate up a whole lot of that clay. So that's why I thought this time I'm going to use a bit more and see what we come up with here. Unless I ruin it by messing up the clay ball as I'm opening it up there. getting this wide, I think I'm going to check the bottom with a needle tool. Something I hardly ever do, but I really don't want to go way too thick, and I don't want to go, definitely don't want to go too thin. This will have to be sitting on wads in the wood kiln. So, of course, the wads will be out near the edge, which it'll be a whole lot stronger out near the edge than the center. But nonetheless, don't want it to be too thin. Alright, that's probably a good width for the inside of the bottom. And just like my normal mugs, I'm going to go ahead and put a swirl on the bottom. Try to make this one a bit bigger, because it's a giant mug. The thing I don't want to do is catch my finger on one of those bat pin holes as I'm pulling in the base to pull it up. That would hurt, especially if I caught my fingernail on it. Want to keep a nice stout rim on this, because I think it'll look a lot better and it'll hold up the roundness a bit better, because I'm going to have to put a ginormous handle on this to make it look fitting. Definitely pulling this one a little bit skinnier on top than the last one as well, because the last one I felt like was a bit wide on top, and after I got it out there it was really hard to bring it back in with the shape it was already. So if I start with it in, I can always bring it out a lot easier than I can bring it back in. So, and like I said, I'm not worried about this being the lightest piece in the world or thinnest, but if somebody is going to hold it, I don't want it to be too heavy. But that I had you worried with the beginning of that pull, because I was worried. I was like, oh no, what's going on? Oh. Alright, I think I've pulled enough. Now let's see about shaping this bad boy. At the top, I could either do my classic where I do it back in like this, or I could do the straighter top. I'm trying to figure out which one I like better. I think I like the straight one, kind of like I did the first one. Yeah. But I think having it a little bit smaller than I did my first one looks better. Or if this one is the same width, it's taller and skinnier in the body. But I think this one is looking much better. Let's just do a quick measurement and see what we got here. Alright, so far we have about 14 and a half-ish, a little more, by almost 8. That one's 8 inches wide, so it is about the same width, but this one's about 1.5 inches or more taller than the first one. First one's about 13. I think making this a little bit skinnier here will look better too. Now I'm going to do my classic little foot roll on the bottom here. Let's see. Going underneath this outside edge and just roll that little foot up. Go. Yeah, I think I like that one considerably better than the first one. That's what I had in mind for the first one, and I just didn't have enough clay or didn't proportion it as the way I wanted. So I'm pretty doggone happy with that one. And yeah, I'll do some about 14 and a half. The skinniest part is probably about 5.5, but that'll definitely hold way more than 90 ounces, and I'm excited to see this wood fired. Well, there we have it. 2 giant mugs made. I will put, I did film the throwing of this one, and I'll just put it here at the end as a little outro, sped up version of that. But you just saw that one in full, and that is exactly what I had in mind about this project. I'm really super thrilled with the shape and size of that one. And like I said, I will fire both of them, and if he wants them both, if not, I'll keep the one that he doesn't want, and it'll be on display here at my shop. So anyway, thank you guys as always for your support. I will be doing the handles on these, but I'll probably be doing a video of that or a short clip of that or pictures on my Instagram. So if you want to see the rest of the process, go follow me on Instagram. It's just Matthew Kelly Pottery on Instagram. And thank you for all your support on YouTube and Instagram. And on my new website, my last sale that I did, thank you for all you who purchased and your support. It means a whole lot to me and my family that you all are willing to support us and purchase pieces from us. Things I think went really smooth with the new website, just as good as I could have hoped, and super thankful for that. The only thing that I think was a hiccup with that is that it charged a bit too much for international shipping, and I had to refund the 2 people that bought internationally for their shipping. Other than that, it charged just about everything correctly as far as shipping, and so it's working well. So like I said, thank you for all your support, and you guys are amazing. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.